dear students. I am Dr. Shikha Pandey, Associate Professor from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. In the lecture series of this subject, that is solid waste management, today we will discuss about the gas collection system in the landfill. So, previously we have discussed about the types of landfill, how this liquid collection will be done from landfill. Now, today we will discuss about the gas collection system. As we know that previously we have already discussed that from landfill, methane production, the production of methane and carbon dioxide is a major concern, because the methane is the greenhouse gas and it will be from landfill, it will be coming out from in a very large quantity, and because of this production of methane, some nuisance and some odor is also created inside nearby to the landfill sites. That's why this landfill gas collection system is a very important. This landfill gas, it can be collected either by a passive or an active collection system. So, to collect this methane, collection system has been set up on every landfill. And this collection system is of two types. First is the active collection system, and second is the passive collection system. So, the number of spacing of wells, that depends upon the landfill specific characteristics like waste volume, waste density, depth, and the area. So the a well has been established on the landfill site. So from this well, this gas should be collected from the outlet of the well. So the establishment of well and how much well should be established is mainly depends upon the specific characteristics of the waste, like the total volume of the waste, density of the waste, and the depth of the waste and area of the waste. And the landfill gas collection might need good gas control measure for many reasons, because it will include the government regulation, some odor problem is there, and uncontrolled release of gases that could be pose safety and health concern. So because of this reason, the landfill gas collection system is very much required, and the control measurement has been given for the land gas that will be coming out from the landfill. And the government has already given some regulation. Because of this gas only, odor problem is there, uncontrolled release of gases that could be that could sometimes causes some health effect and safety problem also. So because these 4-5 problems are there, because of that one only, also this gas collection system is very much required. And there are two types of gas collection system, that is passive gas collection system and active gas collection system. So now discuss these things in the detail. So first is the passive gas collection system. In the passive gas collection system, it can be installed in the active operation of a landfill or after closure of the landfill. So after the closure of landfill, or when landfill is in active operation, then at that time this passive gas system has been installed on the landfills, this type of well. So next point is that the collection wells are typically constructed of perforated or slotted plastics. These collection wells are mostly made up of by some construction of some perforated plastics, and it can be installed vertically throughout the landfill. So passive gas collection system is like vertical wells are there. So it is installed vertically throughout the landfill to depth ranging from the 50% to 90% of the waste thickness. So up to the it depends, its deep layer will depends upon the thickness of the waste, like 50% to 90%. How much percent the waste thickness will be there? So up to that thickness, this wells has been constructed of some perforated walls or some plastic walls, and it will be installed vertically throughout the landfill to depth up to like 50% to 90%. Next point is that it may include some horizontal wells located below the ground surface to serve as conduits for gas movement within the landfill. So this horizontal wells is also there, and these horizontal wells, it is located under the ground surface. Under the ground surface it is located, and it is basically to serve as the conduits for movement within the landfill. So these are 3 points are the passive gas collection system, how this gas collection system can be worked passively. and it will be installed vertically. Only point in that in passive gas collection system is that the wells has been installed vertically into the wells, and that well is present on the landfills, and the number of wells is also depend upon the thickness of waste and the how much waste is there, waste quantity, waste generation, waste total amount, and waste thickness. So on this basis, the total number of wells has been depend. And the next is it may include some horizontal wells located below the ground surface, and it can serve as a conduits for gas movement within the landfill. So you can see this is the picture of this passive gas collection system. So this is the vent where system will be occurred, where we will collect the gas. Next is the gas collection layer. This is the gas collection layer, and above that one cap is there, and this cap is below this soil layer. This is the first soil layer, and these are the gas collection pipe, and you can see that the pipe is vertically installed. This is the main point in this active collection system. This pipe is vertically installed. So this is passive gas collection system picturization. In this gas collection layer is there, cap is there, and through the vent the gas has been collected, and this pipes has been installed vertical. Next is the active gas collection system. So in the active method of gas collection system, it will be two systems has been included, vertical and horizontal gas collection wells. All things are similar to the passive collection system. Only the thing is that this wells is vertical and horizontal gas collection well. Vertical as well as horizontal. Horizontal gas collection well are there. And it is similar to the passive collection system. Wells in the active system should have valve to regulate the gas flow and to serve as the sampling port. So in the gas collection system, the wells is there, and that should have a valve. That valve will regulate the gas flow, and it can serve as a sampling port. And sampling allow the system operator to measure either by the generation of gas, composition of waste, and pressure on the landfill site. So 3 points are important point. First is the gas generation, composition, and pressure. Wells in the active system should have valves to regulate the gas flow and to serve as a sampling port. And like this active gas collection system and passive gas collection system. So active will involve the vertical and horizontal gas wells that will be similar to the passive collection system. And the rest of the function are same in both the gas collection system. So this is the picturization of this active gas collection system. Like this is the gas extraction valve. Well is there. Okay, so this is the sampling port. You can see this is the sampling port. It is below the green layer, topsoil layer. And here two type of gas collection system is there: active, vertical, as well as horizontal. Vertical as well as horizontal. So two type of gas collection systems are there: vertical gas collection system and horizontal gas collection system. This is the landfill waste. So landfill waste, like this, all systems are there. You can see that ground surface is there, vacuum is there, and active gas collection system will be established. So the collection system wells are like that. So it is a very useful. So it will be very helpful in collecting the collecting the methane gas through the wells. So next is the vacuums or pumps to be moved out of the landfill, and pipes that connect the collection well to the vacuum. So what happened? Vacuums has been created. Vacuum is created. Vacuum is created, and this vacuum will helps to movement of gas out of the landfill, and piping will be there that is going to connect the collection wells to the vacuum. The size, type, and number of vacuums that is required in an active system is to pull the gas from the landfill, and it depends upon the amount of gas that has been produced. So the size, type, and number of vacuums which will be required into an active system to pull the gas from the landfill to pull the gas from the landfill, it mainly depends upon the amount of total gas that has been produced into the landfill, means total amount of methane that has been produced. So the size, type and number of vacuums will be required in an active system. So this is totally an active system, and it will be required to pull the gas from the landfill, and it mainly depends upon the amount of gas that has been produced from the landfill. So effective this gas design system. Here we will discuss about the gas design system, because the wells has been established on the landfill and how this system can work and what are the active gas system design. So effective active gas designing system. An effective active gas collection system incorporate the following design elements. First is the gas moving equipment. It will include the vacuum and piping, and that will be capable of handling the maximum landfill gas generation. The number and spacing between the each extraction wells. So extraction wells are there, and that extraction well total number of well and the spacing between the each well will depends upon the types of waste, the depth of waste, compaction of waste, and pressure gradients created by the vacuum's moisture content of the waste. So the number of spacing between each extraction wells will mainly depends upon the waste type, depth of waste, compaction of waste, and pressure gradients created by the vacuum's moisture content of the waste. So this is effective active gas system design. An effective active gas collection system basically incorporates the designs like the gas moving equipments including vacuums and piping, and it will be capable of handling the maximum landfill gas generation rate. The number and spacing between each extraction wells is basically depends upon the waste type, the depth of the waste, compaction of the waste, pressure gradients created by the vacuum and moisture content of the waste. The ability to monitor and adjust the flow from individual extraction well. So from individual lots of extraction well is there on the landfill site. So how to monitor and will adjust the flow of the wells, flow of the gas from each wells. It will include the valves, pressure gauge, condenser, sampling port at each collection wells for monitoring pressure and measuring gas generation. So 4 points are there. First is the valve will be there, and that this is the like for to monitor and to adjust flow from individual extraction wells, and it includes the valve, pressure gauge, one valve will be there, then pressure gauge will be there, condenser, and then sampling port at each collection well. So at each collection well, one sampling port will be there. So through the sampling port, the monitoring and measuring of gas has been done. So this is about the to monitor the and to know the gas condition, to adjust the flow of gas from each extraction well. It has been established with some of the valve, some of the pressure gauge, condenser, and sampling port at each collection well. You can see this is the picture of this gas extraction well and horizontal pipes that is connected in one or two way. You can see that this round is the extraction well, and this is the landfill, top of the landfill, and this is the piping system. Landfill slope will be there. So all these extraction wells is connected with each other, and this extraction well and some of the because the it will be operate the movement of gas within the landfill, and it helps for taking the sampling of the gas to take the extraction wells from the gas. So this extraction well and horizontal pipes can be connected, and it will be connected in one or two way. You can see that. So now this collective headers will be there. So individual wells and in horizontal headers are running directly from each well to the gas connected to the main header that will be supply gas to the collection station. And the most popular pipes are 50 to 63 mm, and the gas extraction wells are linked to several collective headers of 100 to 160 mm. So the headers size is 100 to 160 mm, and the pipe size is 50 to 63 mm. Individual wells and horizontal headers are that are running directly from each well to the gas connected to the main headers that supply gas to the collection station. Next is the gas collection station. So from gas collection station, what happened and what are the units has been installed in the gas collection station. So in the gas collection station, one is the central collector that is connected to pipeline to transmit gas off to the landfill. So central collector will be there. They will connect to pipeline and transmit gas to the landfill. Blower to extract gas from the landfill. Blower is there. Blower, what it is doing, it is extracting the gas from the landfill, and then the movement of gas outside the landfill. Filters to remove the solids. Reservoir where condensate is removed from the gas. Instruments for control of gas extraction and transport. Measuring and control equipments. So first is a central collector that is connected to pipeline and transmit gas to the landfills. Some blower is there. That blower is going to extract the gas from the landfill. Then filters to remove the solid. Filters are there. This filter is going to remove the solids. Reservoir where the condensate is removed from the gas. So instrument to control of gas extraction, and then transport, measuring and control equipment. So these are the following unit that has been installed at the gas collection station, where these following units has been installed. Central collector, blower is there, and a filter is there. That filter will remove the solids. Reservoir is there, which will condensate and removed from the gas, and then transport mechanism, and then control equipments are there. You can see this is the gas collection system. So first is this is the gas compressor booster, and a knockout vessel will be there. This is the filter unit, and see from gases are coming from here to this chamber will be there. This tank will be there. In this tank it is going to there, and these knockout vessels are there, and then from this vessel it is going to the filter unit, and from filter unit compressors are there and boosters are there. From here it will be going for the utilization of the gases to different areas. So this is the schematic diagram of the gas collection system in any landfill. This will be connected with a landfills, and from here we can collect. The thing is that the collection of methane to get the and monitoring of methane, so that the methane cannot be moved out, and it will not enters into the atmosphere and does not pollute the atmosphere. So because of this collection only, this methane system has been established. Next is the monitoring emission, landfill gas monitoring emission. So landfill gas emission may be monitored for one or more of the following reasons. First is the landfill gas control system. Next is to determine the general composition and volume over time of air contamination emanating from the landfill. To determine the general composition and volume over time of contamination, emission rate estimates or monitoring may also be used to assess whether it is technically and economically feasible to recover and use of landfill gas for energy production. Landfill gas will be like, it is for the control system, and it will determine the general composition and volume over time of air contamination that is emanating from the landfill. Emission rate will estimates and monitoring may also be used to assess whether it is technically or economically feasible to recover and to use the landfill gas for the energy production. It will be feasible to recover and use the landfill gas for energy production. Monitoring of gases that will coming out from the landfill will fall under the following 5 categories. First is like soil gas monitoring, near surface gas monitoring, emission monitoring, ambient air monitoring, and then indoor air monitoring. So 5 types are there, 5 categories are there. So this monitoring of gases from the landfill will fall under these 5 categories. First is the soil gas monitoring, then next near surface gas monitoring, emission monitoring, and ambient air monitoring, indoor air monitoring. So like this we will do the monitoring. We'll discuss about these things in the detail. First is the soil gas monitoring. So this soil gas monitoring programs will measure the concentration of chemicals in the vapor space of soil, and the measurement of soil gas level are taken at depth with the use of the probes or well. So in this soil gas monitoring system, it will measure the concentration of chemical in the vapor space of soil. Into the vapor space of soil, the concentration of chemicals, concentration of gas has been measured, and this measurement of soil gas will be taken at a depth and use of some probes on wells. So to report the level of methane around the landfill perimeter, like oxygen, carbon and nitrogens are frequently reported, and sometimes hydrogen sulfide, that is H2S, and other specific like NMOC, like vinyl chlorides are there. So these are the gases. This is needs to be monitored to monitor the methane. To monitor the methane in the landfill perimeter, this gas monitoring is also required. So because the soil gas monitoring data at many municipal solid waste landfill characterize the level of only methane. The data are generally used for the evaluating risk of explosion and for getting a qualitative sense of whether the landfill gases are migrating to the soil or to off-site location. So this soil gas monitoring system will monitor the concentration of chemicals in the vapor space of soil, and the measurement of soil gas levels are taken at depth with the use of some probes or well. And the report level of methane around the landfill perimeter is oxygen, carbon dioxide and nitrogen, and it is frequently reported. Because of that, the soil gas monitoring data at many municipal landfills is typically characterized the level of only methane. The data are generally useful for evaluating risk of explosion and for getting a qualitative sense of whether the landfill gases are migrating to the soil or to the off-site location. Near surface gases are these gases, like the measurement of the concentration of gases at a point which is not higher than 4 inch, or above the ground surface. Methane is most common gas that monitored, but the VOC is the volatile organic components, volatile chloride and hydrogen sulfide. Sulfides are sometimes reported. So monitoring can qualitatively indicate that whether the high level of landfill gases are escaping from the landfill surface, or whether the landfill gas collections and control system is working well to minimize the emission. So near surface gases measurement has been done. So this near surface gases is like it is done to measure the concentration of gas at a point which is higher than 4 inch or above the ground surface. Methane is most common gas that monitored, but volatile organic components and hydrogen sulfides are sometimes reported. Next is the monitoring can be qualitatively indicate whether the high level of landfill gas are escaping from the landfill surface, or whether the landfill gas collection and control system is working well to minimize the emission. Next is the emission. In emission monitoring program should measure the rate at which chemicals are released from the particular source. These emission monitoring programs measure the rate at which the chemicals are released from the particular source, like landfill surface flares or stacks. So landfill studies have measured emission rates for various pollutants such as like methane and NMOC from landfill surfaces and combustion byproducts of flares and other treatment units. Chemical specific emission data are useful for identifying potential contaminants of concern at landfill, but they do not characterize the concentration of chemicals that people actually breathe. So the emission is like some chemical specific emission data are there which is useful for identifying the potential contaminants of concern at the landfill, but they do not characterize the concentration of chemicals that people actually breathe. Okay. Next is the ambient air monitoring. So ambient air monitoring program, it will measures the level of pollution in the outdoor ambient air or the air that people breathe. So the ambient air and the outdoor air level is there, and the air monitoring programs, it is going to measure the level of pollution in the outdoor ambient air or the air that people is going we are breathing. And ambient air monitoring can be conducted for a wide range of pollutants near landfills. Air monitoring is most commonly conducted for criteria pollutants and NMOC. And because of the ambient air monitoring data, it will characterize the level of pollution in the air that people breathe. They usually provide the best measure for air exposure concentration in the vicinity of landfill. So this is about the ambient air quality. Ambient air quality monitoring programs will basically measure the level of pollution in the outdoor ambient air and the outdoor air where the people are breathing. And this ambient air monitoring, it will be conducted for a wide range of pollutant near the landfill, and this air monitoring is most commonly conducted for the criteria pollutant. Criteria pollutant are those pollutants that will be responsible for the air quality, like SOx and NOx are there. So the ambient air monitoring data will characterize the level of pollutions in the air and in the air where people are breathing, because they usually provide the best measure for the air exposure concentration in the vicinity of landfills. Indoor air quality. Indoor air monitoring program measure the level of contamination in indoor air spaces. In indoor air spaces, these air monitoring programs measures the level of contamination, and the indoor air monitoring for methane is required at structures on many landfill properties. Methane monitoring at off-site location and NMOC monitoring is usually only performed to address site-specific concern. So this indoor air monitoring for methane, it will be required at structures on many landfill properties. Methane monitoring at off-site location and NMOC monitoring is usually only performed to address site-specific concerns. Indoor air monitoring data are useful for evaluating risk of explosion and exposure to contaminants within the homes and emission from the household products, like indoor air quality. And task that will be might be confound these measurements, and level measured in one homes generally are not representatives of levels in other homes or even nearby residence area also. So this is about the indoor air. Why this indoor air monitoring programs will be there, and it will be measure the air contaminants into inside the home, and this indoor air monitoring for methane is required at the structure level on many landfill properties. So methane monitoring at off-site location and NMOC monitoring is usually only performed to address the site-specific concern. So this is about some of the references which I have used for this study, and if you want to go for this in-depth study, you can follow this textbook. In this textbook, you will get more details about all these chapters. So now, thank you for today's lecture. In this lecture, I have discussed about the collection of landfill gases and why this collection of methane has been required in the landfill site, and how much type of wells has been established, and what are the gas collection system, like active gas collection system and passive gas collection system. In the active gas collection system, or in both the collection system, how these perforated wells has been established. The well is either vertical, or well is either vertical and horizontal both. So in this way, the monitoring and collection of methane is possible. So to follow these things, this has been established, this air landfill gas collection system. And this landfill gas collection system is very much required to stop the nuisance around the landfill site, to stop the odor from the solid waste. And these perforated walls we will keep on the landfill is basically depends on the types of waste, characteristics of the waste, and the thickness of the waste also. On these points, these are the important points that we have discussed in this lecture. So if you want to do, if you have any queries, you can write in the comment box, or you can mail me onto my given mail id, that is shikha.pandey@gmail.com. So thank you for today's lecture.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.